presenter is Hideki Hashimoto, also from Tokyo. And you are president of Tokyo, of TRGK, so that's the Regional Glassblower Society. In Japan, the national society is not as strong as the regionals are. And Hideki is president of the Tokyo chapter, which is quite an honor. Thank you for being here. He is going to demonstrate. He's a second generation glassblower. His dad still comes in. How old is your father? How old? Your father? How old? How much?
91.
91. He still comes in and works. He still works every day, yeah. And he decided the secret to longevity was you have to go fishing every week. Hideki does a lot of tooling. So the flanges that you see that he's going to be demonstrating today are flanges that he's tooled. And he also does complex wetware, labware equipment. So this was a project that came in. These little cells have to be interchangeable so that they're not a matched set, but that you can grab any one out of the box and they will all fit together properly. The issue is that these are ground flat flanges. There's no O-ring seal on there. They have to mate exactly correct. And if the angles are off, obviously there's going to be fluid leakage. They're supposed to sit on a countertop when they're in use, so the bottoms, which are the 90-degree bottoms on the tubes, they also have to be at an absolute accurate perpendicular to the flat flanges. So and they're short. So the trick was, how do you seal these darn things together so that when they're finished, you can set them on a table and you can grab any one out of any box and they will all fit correctly every time. So this is the process that he has come up with for how to put these together. Go.
Yes. Hello, my name is Hideki Hashimoto from Japan. I can't speak English. Translation is Tsuyoshi or
Eric.
Eric. Nice to meet you. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
ですね、横にフランジをつけて、容器を作ります。ただし、目にいっぱい作ると合わなくなります。わかりますか？
So I've already explained. You can continue. Yeah.
本体の部分は、ステンレス製の、90度。
Stainless steel, 90 degrees. It's got to be accurate because that's going to hang on to the sidearm.
Yeah. ここにフラスコを乗せて。
And he's got a very nice stainless clip. It looks like it could be the back end of Thomas pinch clamp, right? But the stainless version, not the ones that are brass, not the ones that are painted. So you clip it down, and then you get your 90-degree alignment for rotating in the chuck. You also get the offset length for the arms, so that all the arms are exactly the same height every time.
この横につける小さなスモールフランジ。
He's got two versions, yeah. So he tools up and makes the small flanges. He also does a larger version with a larger diameter flange.
これは型でローラーで。
So it's tooled. Yep, it's tooled, and he makes those, and then he sends them out to get them ground. That was an interesting thing that Tracy and I found. There are specialized folks that do grinding. So the toolers will most often not do their own grinding. They'll tool up their joints and they'll send a big box of them over to the grinder, and the grinder will bring them back again, and then they're finished and flat.
Yeah. ここがグラインドしてあります。これをカットします。
So now he's going to use his internal scoring cutter to cut the flange down to length. This has got a little rolling wheel on the shaft, and it scores the tube on the inside. So you apply heat to the outside, and it cracks off very nicely. And that edge is clean and ready to use. It's the same process we did with Tiyoshi's piece. You don't have to do any additional processing on the edge. And this cutter tool is a nice way of getting consistent cuts for production runs. You set it once, and you slam a piece of glass in, you cut, and you get 20 pieces that are within a fraction of a millimeter of the same length. It's very fast.
これからが一番重要なところです。ポイントです。ステンレスの棒です。
So he's got stainless steel, he's got his centerless ground, he's got a flat face cut on the end of the tube. So he's got a nice sharp 90 there. These are stainless steel donuts, and there's a little offset that he's got cut into the open end of the donut. Normally the donut end is just a 90 degrees. He's got a little shoulder in there. And what we're going to do now, what he's going to do now, is get all the donuts set exactly to the same distance so that when you chuck that flange on there, the flange will slip up against the back end of the shoulder and the flange will sit straight. So the stainless rod now is just an indexing rod to get the donuts positioned in the right spot. And it's probably worth taking your time to get that right, because if one of those donuts is slipped back a little bit, then every single flange will be crooked.
Yes.
So with clean straight chucks, there's no wrap, right? And you get a nice sharp 90-degree corner. So now he's going to load the flange in, pushing it up against the back of the shoulder, that little step. And that's also critical. One more time. Looks like one of the donuts is a little off. Question, this is turning this way. Is that okay, or do you want it the other way? Japanese style is towards you, okay. Apparently they do it the right way.
You can point to tell them that in September there's going to be a year.
Thank you. So he's got a piece of 6 mil rod, and he's going to heat at the center of rotation. It doesn't need to get marked because of the fixture that he's got. It's automatically going to pull open. If you're heating it, it's automatically going to pull open in the center.
Thank
you. Yeah, I don't mind when my mother comes over to the shop and watches. She doesn't know what I'm doing, but when another glass blower shows up, I get nervous, right? Yeah. All right, so he's got a hole pulled, graphite reamer. He's going to ream it open. So now he's got a little bit of a shoulder around the open edge. Most of the heat is on that shoulder. There's just a little splash on the sidearm. As the shoulder starts to collapse, He's bringing the sidearm in to tag the shoulder as it's coming down. So now he's starting to heat the sharp edge of the seal out. He doesn't want the sidearm to collapse, so he's working it out about 25% of the way around each time. He's probably running from maybe 8 o'clock down to 5. And again, let gravity kind of sag the soft stuff out to get a nice radius formed. And you actually need sort of 2 different diameter of radius because of how close these tubes are. So the top and bottom is going to be a slightly sharper radius, and then the side walls are going to be a little bit bigger. All done? Wow. Okay, all done? Sugoi. All right. Awesome. More questions?
What kind of torch is that?
Is this Herbert Arnold?
Oh, no.
No.
Made in Japan.
Made in Japan. Sorry, can't get one. Got to go there. But it looks kind of like a Herbie hand torch. There were not a lot of hand torches with interchangeable tips like a National. Most of the ones that we saw was a style like this. So he's got 1 gas and 2 oxygen. So you get like a narrow center fire, and then you open it up. Yeah, there we go.
Sitting on right now, that's already ground before.
Before it's sealed on. The grinding is done before it gets sealed on. That's correct.
No distortion.
You got to be good.
Yeah.
You got to be good. You can't get it too hot, otherwise it'll warp. Yep. So if you haven't tried one of these hand cutters, you could come by some time. Is the exhibit hall still open? There's more. Yeah, it'll be open tonight. Check it out. They're kind of interesting. The other thing that's going to happen is next September, Hideki and a number of others are involved in organizing an all-Japan Glassblowers Symposium. And they'd be very interested in getting a number of us from the US to come over and attend. The date is not set yet. Maybe October is what they're thinking. This year? Next year in 2019. Not this fall, next fall, 2019. Come on over. Toyoshi will show you a good time. He knows all the good spots. More questions? Nope, all done.
どうもありがとうございました。